Okay, welcome everybody to the OTA balance changes of January the 18th balance updates. Let's have a quick look at these ones and let's see what we can look at here. Okay, first things first, January 18th, 2024. The first card they're looking at today is the Blob. Old. This was the 6/4. As you know, its effect, merge your cards from your deck into this, gain its total power. The new effect and or text edit. On reveal, merge cards from your deck into this until it gains 15 or more power. So, as it states, Blob has been a metagame terror for a good minute. It definitely has, which includes the likes in the format of Shang-Chi and Shadow King have proven wholly insufficient in restraining that. So what it is meaning by, even if you do Shang-Chi due to priority reasons, sometimes the Blob can get the upper hand in most games. So as it says here initially, the latter is a fair bit on us internally. We feared being so easily dusted by at the time. Shadow King 2/3, one of the strongest cards in the metagame, would be too punishing for the new card. But times change and it turns out that defensive power was totally unnecessary. I can definitely understand that, especially with the Blob. It was a very, very powerful card, especially in the Thanos deck, as it describes here later on. It was important to retain a couple key elements of Blob. The first was rewarding eating large amounts of power, especially from high power cards. The second was keeping total power of Blob a variable for the opponent to make the card more difficult to combat directly. This change accomplishes both creating different Blobs depending on the order of the cards in your deck. It also weakens Blob and Thanos specifically, as smaller power cards are more likely to land closer to the threshold. Lastly, it adds an easy dial for us to turn if our math on the right targets for Blob were wrong. The combination of base power and this threshold gives us room to adjust further. So I believe if I am correct with this Blob, it's going to increase just over the power of 15 or just a bit over if you just get the likes of Infinite or the Destroyer, Red Skull, things like that. And if you just get over the power of that, I think it locks up. I'm not sure. Could be completely wrong. I believe it's just a text edit, but we will see what happens with the Blob. I'm liking that change, and hopefully we can combat it a bit more in the future. Okay, let's move on to the next card, which is the Destroyer. The Destroyer. Old effect was on reveal destroy other cards, 6/15. It's moved up now to a 6/16. So, the change is reverting a nerf to Destroyer from a while ago. The general power values in the game have improved, even among Series 1 and Series 2 cards, where Destroyer's impact was most felt. We'll continue evaluating the relative power of the 6-cost cards throughout the year and expect to make more changes. I am thoroughly impressed with this one, and I'm glad Destroyer has gone up to a 6/16. It's a very powerful card, even in Destroy with Nimrod, which most definitely will be used in that one. So I'm looking forward to see how that goes with Destroyer. Viper. Old 3/4 on reveal, switch cards with that card to the opponent's side. Change. It's up to a 3/5 now. So I believe the approach they're going with this one is specifically related to Havoc. Fortunately, those fears were unfolded. However, we've decided to keep Viper at a 3-cost for a few reasons. One, there's that lets Viper more naturally combo with locations like Savage Land or Shadowland. Fair call. Which reveal on turn 3, 1/3 of the turn. Another is that it increases the design space for building cards like the Hood as 2-cost cards because Viper can gift them on curve. I respect that, and I also respect the Viper decision of the power. Not a massive change, but just a slight alteration of the power cost. Who have we got now? Celine. So she is a 1-1 before. Now she's moved to a 1/2. Celine was originally designed to explicitly, combo with Viper and Black Widow, which is part of why her own power was negative. It increased the risk-reward of these strong combinations. However, it turns out that subsequent changes to Viper and Black Widow also weakened these combinations plenty, and Annihilus hasn't been much of a factor for Celine. Either so, we're adding some power here to let the card better stand on its own. That sounds interesting. I don't have the card itself, but I'm looking forward to see how this goes in the future when and if I attain it, and also challenge it later on in Marvel Snap battles. So that sounds pretty exciting. And looking to see how that tags along with Annihilus. Electra, a card I barely even use, but I want to see what the description says of this. It's now a 1-2, originally was 1-1. We've explored a variety of directions for improving Electra, and we're likely to continue doing so. I'm glad they're working on that. It's a card that really needs to be worked on, or even possibly reworked, in my opinion. It's the same as like Domino. I reckon Domino over Quicksilver should be reworked as well, because I believe Domino should be more of a luck-based card with different effect. That's my opinion on it. What it should do next, I'm not sure, but I reckon it should guarantee more cards you draw are all from, let's say, a 3-cost band, so you can draw 3-cost cards earlier, maybe in a Surfer deck, but we shall see how the likes of Domino, if she ever gets an update. We shall see. Move back to Electra. We've explored a variety of directions for improving Electra, and we're likely to continue doing so. Electra has an amazing story and a lot of great variants, but also plays an important role in teaching new players about sequencing cards and managing different locations. I can understand for the likes of Tier 1 cards, Series 1 cards for new players. That's totally understandable. We've wanted to improve Electra for a while to make this iconic character more enjoyable, but don't want to lose out on that important function for early play. For now, we're just going to give it additional power and seeing how that goes. Very cool. Take it slow. You don't want to do any drastic changes because it may change the meta a bit too much. You never know. Dazzler. Okay, now this is where the good stuff is happening. Dazzler, 3-2 originally. Changed to a 2-2. Dazzler is another card that could use some shine. Our intention with the initial change to 3-cost Dazzler was to see in Silver Surfer decks. Honestly, I've never seen it played, and I personally never used it in a Silver Surfer deck. My original opinion on this card, and always will be, Zoo deck for sure with Kazar. Loved it. Always will love it, and we'll make more future videos with Dazzler, especially with the crazy variants that should be coming out this year, I believe. So excited for this one. Oh, love it. A pair with Dazzler and Brood, but things haven't worked out that way. So it's time to try something else. Dazzler as a card rewards playing effectively so that you can get all your cards out, which means an energy reduction should be helpful. Absolutely it is, and I'll definitely be using, as I said before, in a more typical Zoo deck. Hercules! Okay, here's our big boy. I just tested out that today in our video. Old, a 4-6, change 4-7. Let's see what the description says of the OTA update. Hercules released weaker than we'd like. Absolutely he did. So we're adding a little power. Our goal remains to try and find an execution that builds an interesting move card at 4 cost, because diversifying the strategy options across more costs is key for ensuring we have a lot of gameplay variety. We may consider revising the effect in the future if it proves unworkable at this cost. Now, I can understand 2 reasons why he's staying 4. 1, Dagger has just recently changed. Zabu is another option for that too. And the second real opinion I think they did that is they didn't want to make a move taking over the meta hugely too much, because putting him at 3 guarantees Dagger and or Human Torch with the likes of Vulture will be moving around the board so much that their power will be absolutely insane. So I believe they're just taking the safety net with Hercules right now. If things tend to change with other cards in the future and more releases, I reckon Hercules may change again. But we will see where the direction they're going with move is. So I'm looking forward to see how Hercules goes. And I will personally be using him more in the future as well. Okay, the most exciting card I have, and my absolute favourite card in Marvel Snap, is Dagger. And here she is. Dagger Old, 2-2. Her new stat line is 2-0. This is amazing. When this moves to a location, +3 power for each enemy card there. So instead of +2, +3. Absolutely love it. It popped off, especially in my last video today. And my God, love it. My favourite archetype and my favourite card in one. Beautiful. Speaking of move cards, Dagger has been one of the weaker ones for a while. we'd like there to be some extra competition and strength for the archetype. So we're trying to change her that sizable increases the power potential. Absolutely does. As it describes in the later of that sentence, Shadow King is still a card that can be countered with this, so you've got to be careful how that works. But that significant change for Dagger has made her more viable and more. I've seen her a lot more, especially in the meta as of this moment. Multiple Man for sure has been there a bit more, but Dagger, we shall see how you go over this month of this meta. So there you have it. That was the January 18th updates, balance updates, and looking forward to see what the future updates have to come for other cards. Pretty exciting stuff. So without further ado, that is the changes coming up. Any further questions and or comments, please leave them below, and I'll see you in the next one. Keep this short, sweet, and simple, and I'll see you in the next Marvel Snap video. Have a good one, guys. I'll see you around. Peace.